to be brave on set pieces, right? And I brought all them in the room, so I want you to look at them, because they're the people that work hour upon hour upon hour trying to help you all the time, and they're the people that will be there at the end of it to congratulate you or to be sorrowful for you. But they're the people you're playing for, all the people on the fucking wing wall you're playing for, and you could achieve something great. You could. And all I ask is you give it your best. Give it your fucking best. If it ain't your day, fine, get off, I'll send one of the game changers on, it's absolutely fine. But you have to start off with the mentality that you're going out to win the football game, that you're playing fearless, and you have to accept the fact some things you do aren't going to be perfect. So you might not get the opportunity to hit the perfect shot, the perfect cross. You might lose the ball twice when you get out. Don't give a f***. Get at them again. Get at them again. There's not much I regret about my career. The thing I do regret is I didn't live in the moment enough. I didn't. It was about get the game done next game, get the game done next game. Don't enjoy anything. You're gonna learn that. Please live in the moment.
Hello and welcome to the preview show from RamsTV. Derby County's search for their first home win of the season resumes today. Derby hosting Fleetwood Town here at Pride Park Stadium. A bit of a quirk of the schedule has seen Derby play 3 of their opening 4 league games at home this season. They also lost to Blackpool here in the EFL Cup as well. That starts to correct itself next weekend with tough trips to Peterborough and Bolton on the horizon. A home fixture against Cambridge United will see the Rams reach the oft-talked about 10-game marker. That, of course, still a few weeks away. Derby hosting Fleetwood Town today, and boss Paul Warne has some injury issues to deal with going into this one. That after losing Joe Ward and Max Bird to injury in Tuesday night's defeat to Oxford, but the head coach not giving too much away.
We did lose a couple of 3. We had a couple of suspected bone injuries on 2, a tendon injury on another. So we're still awaiting full feedback, really, before I say something that isn't true. So, yes, that's disappointing. Obviously, in a similar position. So, yeah, not ideal to say the least. But hopefully, we'll get positive news and it won't hold us back.
You don't have the biggest squad anyway. To lose 3, how difficult does that make your job when it comes to putting a team out on Saturday?
Yes and no, really. I suppose you've got less decisions to make because you've got a smaller group to pick from. But I really like the group we've got. We just obviously need to add to it. We're just trying to improve the squad. And obviously, when you go through pre-season, you play the pre-season games, everything, it's a different level of competition, obviously. But we felt like we had the right shape and right players in right holes, but we needed to add to it. And now, obviously, with the game every 3 or 4 days, pick a couple of injuries up, unfortunately for us, if they're bone ones. It just reinforces the fact you need more bodies. Obviously, we're not complete idiots. So so we're trying to do that. We've been a really busy week in trying to recruit, and again, obviously, not having a midweek game next week is a bonus. We can get some work into the lads, which is good because it's been difficult because of the games every 3 days. They're recovering because it's the same players going out all the time. So get some work into them next week and hopefully get a few fresh faces in as well, which will be needed and wanted, really. So I'm looking forward to that.
And we've talked before about how tricky the market has been. There's still a couple of weeks to go in August. Are things starting to loosen up a bit now in terms of players being available? Yeah,
a little bit. It has loosened up. In fairness, you can always sign players. Obviously, it's trying to get the right mix, and once the window shuts, that is it. So you got to try and get the right ones. But as the days are going by, different people start materialising. The thing that's definitely, I think, and most managers will say this, I believe, that has definitely affected the market this year is the fact that the higher echelons of the pyramid system have 9 subs. That has made a massive change because then obviously there's players who are still feeling part of it that may not be, but they're filling out a bench and they're happy to stay in the higher league as they can. I understand that. But at some clubs you'll see potentially 3 or 4 strikers on the bench, whereas if they had 7, it might only be 2 or 3 or 2. So you then obviously get a surplus at other clubs, and then you get movements and that. And I think speaking to 3 different managers this week, everyone's fearful of the lack of attacking players, I think. And because of that, weirdly, everyone's keeping hold of the ones they've got and also want more on top because, especially in the champ, they want, 9 subs.
You talked a lot after the game on Tuesday about being a nearly team. Is that still how you're feeling now ahead of this weekend when you look at the games that you've had so far?
Yeah, really. I mean, I don't know if that comes across as harsh, or I don't think we've had games where we're getting cut open. I think we're sort of causing our own mistakes to a certain extent. But yeah, we're nearly scoring off set pieces. We're nearly, like their second goal the other night went through bodies. We nearly got a block in. And it's not, the lads aren't nearly trying, they're trying. But unfortunately for us, catastrophically, what could go wrong at home sort of has really. That's the honest truth. And I think, and I know because, hopefully in a 6-8 weeks time, this will be a distant memory and we'll be third and playing really well and full of confidence. But the first goal's crucial all the time. Even more so at home, you need the first goal. The other night, for the first 15 seconds, we looked really dangerous, won a corner, and you think, here we go, this is going to be the night we score the goal. But and unfortunately, because of the pressures of media and asking about it, it becomes a bigger issue the more you talk about it. Whereas realistically, when you sit back, we watch the game back, obviously, as we always do. Of course, this is League One, but there's things that we need to improve on. But there's things that are really good. But they just, Waggy got his first goal, which was great. Like I said, we had some other chances that we didn't take. On another day, you do take them and you win. The difference between winning and losing is marginal, but it's obviously the home form. We need to make it a fortress, obviously, but we need to get that first goal that allows us to go on and win the game.
Paul Warne there, and you'll hear from Martyn Waghorn later in the show. We'll return to today's game shortly, but it is a massive weekend of football. England's Lionesses facing Spain in the World Cup final over in Australia tomorrow morning, of course. And later in the day, Derby County's women kick off their new season as well. We've been talking to boss Sam Griffiths ahead of opening day.
Yeah, really good. Feel like it's been a long pre-season with the extended 2-week trial period, but been really good, really successful. Give us loads of opportunities to try some different stuff. So yeah, ready for Sunday.
Is the squad where you want it to be in terms of fitness, but in terms of personnel and bodies as well?
Yeah, definitely. Look, I think we certainly built on last year. Really important that we kept the majority of the squad, which we have done. So we've got some really good foundations to build on, and the 5 that we've brought in have really fitted in well. Brought a lot to the pitch, off the pitch as well. So excited to see those grow into the team. And yeah, I think we're in a really good place at the minute.
Do you think you'll add more, or will that be a wait and see how things sort of
I think it's
look?
just wait and see. I think the first couple of months are always interested at the start of the season, who's playing, who's not playing, who's happy, who's not happy. Sometimes different players come on your radar. So yeah, we'll always be open to that, but at the minute just concentrating on who we've currently got.
What are your aspirations for the season? You finished well last season, of course.
Yeah, we want to finish as high as we can. I don't think there's any hide in that. I don't think there's any team that don't go into the league wanting to win it, wanting to finish as high as they can. We've got our own sort of targets and goals. We want to be that team that teams know that if they're not at their 100% game, that they'll be in trouble. So yeah, we want to take each game as it comes, be really competitive, and be that team that people dread to play.
I know there's a bit of a mismatch in terms of resources with some of the teams in the division. How realistic is cracking the top 3 for you, do you think?
Tough. Tough. I think when you start to compare yourself to full-time outfits in terms of full-time players, full-time staff, makes it hard. Is it impossible? No. We have to pick and choose our battles. We have to work really hard as staff outside of the hours that we're expected to do. And I think that's one thing that you get from us as a group of staff. Players will all put in the extra hours that's needed to make sure that we can compete with the top 3-4.
And a tough start for you on Sunday, but I guess a chance against Wolves, who were right up there last season, to make a statement from the off.
Yeah, definitely. Look, I don't think whoever would have played first game of the season, I think we'd have always looked at it and gone, it's going to be a tough game. I don't think there'll be any teams in our league this year that you look at and go, oh, I fancy playing them. So it'll give us a chance to measure ourselves, see where we're at. We know what Wolves will bring, and we know that we'll have to be at our absolute best to get anything from that game.
And of course, Sunday is quite a big day for the women's game in general. Yeah. Are you going to be able to watch the World Cup final? Is there a plan for that?
Yeah, hopefully. I think there's been some stuff going on behind the scenes in terms of shifting kick-off. I think if we've got it sorted now that it's 3 o'clock kick-off, so it'll give fans, players, staff a chance to watch it. I think it's really important for us as a group of staff, though, that we have that professionalism. We want to see the Lionesses do well and win, but at the same time, we've got to turn our focus to our game on Sunday and make sure the players are prepared and ready for that.
Great to speak to Sam, and good luck to the U's. We'll have plenty on Derby County's women throughout the season here on RamsTV. Back to today's game, Derby hosting Fleetwood Town in what will be just the 3rd ever meeting between the two clubs. Fleetwood enjoyed their only previous visit back in March when they ran out 2-0 winners at Pride Park Stadium. They also held the Rams to a goalless draw at Highbury last August. Scott Brown's side haven't had the best start to this season though. They're still looking for their first win and lost 3-1 at Bolton on Tuesday. It comes after a difficult summer off the field for the club as well. One side then looking for their first win of the season, another looking for their first home win of the campaign. Could another Martyn Waghorn goal help Derby to victory over Fleetwood today? He got his first since returning to the club this summer in Tuesday night's defeat to Oxford.
It was brilliant, to be honest. It's something that I've obviously kind of been dreaming of, coming back and getting my first goal again. Obviously the wrong kind of situation, unfortunately, but on a personal note, delighted to get off the mark again. And obviously just to have that impact coming off the bench and try and get an assist, getting a goal and being used in whatever capacity at the minute, then that's all I can do and all I can focus on. But unfortunately we couldn't kind of get the result performance to match up with it.
I was having this conversation with Colin Washington on Monday about the importance of that first goal of any season for a striker. He was talking about 5 games is when he would maybe start to get nervous. Are you in the same sort of boat?
Yeah, I think we all have kind of little milestones and kind of targets that you want to get into. And for me, it was just about, I've obviously come in here kind of in a different role, different capacity in terms of, I don't know, striker, 10, whatever position I'm going to be in. But I just wanted to kind of hit the ground running as soon as possible. I think it's always important as a striker, forward player to do that, assist, goals. So yeah, it's nice to get off the mark, and like you say, kind of the last couple of years I've not really had too prolific years, so to get going again relatively early, I'm delighted, yeah.
How is it being back around the building and back around the stadium now?
Do you know what, I'm loving every minute at the minute. Obviously, things could be better on the pitch. We all know that as a club. We all know the standards that are set here and that we need to reach to on a daily basis, but to be around the lads, the staff, you guys, like it feels like I've never really been away, to be honest. Delighted I'm back. And yeah, just trying to use that experience of being away and what I've kind of learned being away, growing up and stuff, and try and help the team as much as possible now in and around the place, and what's required on a daily basis to get the club back to where it needs to be, the fan base on side, and all the little things that make a successful club.
Only 3 games into the league season, it's not been the start that anybody wanted. I think everyone knows that. What's the sense of where the team is at from how you see it?
Obviously, results don't kind of show kind of the hard work and the detail that goes on behind the scenes. Results haven't been great. Let's not beat around the bush. We all know that as a club. Talk about standards. We know from being here before. First and foremost, you need to work hard, put your foot in, do all the basic sides to the game, which we've been lacking on, I think, personally. So yeah, first and foremost, we need to correct them. But as a team, group of players, staff, individuals, we've got everything there. We've got the right players, we've got the right mix. Just kind of gelling, getting it all right, and making it work on a Saturday. I think we showed glimpses of it away to Burton, but glimpses isn't going to get you anywhere. We need solid performances right from the word go. Hopefully starting Saturday, it's a real opportunity to kind of make a foothold and get the season going, and hopefully turn the corner and get where we need to be. But that comes from hard work, desire, doing all that side of it, and get the fans, which obviously unbelievable. You're not going to get many stadiums in this league, 25,000-30,000 fans supporting you the way we do, so we need to get them on side first and foremost and build on that.
You talk about the home fans, and I guess in your first spell, Pride Park really was the fortress, wasn't it? And that's what you've got to get back to here quickly.
Yeah, obviously we need to use them because they follow your numbers home and away. One of the biggest clubs for doing that. So I think we need to really appreciate how lucky we are that we've got that cheer. But we need to also give them something to cheer first and foremost. And like you say, being here before, it's not always the most prettiest football, most attracting. It's about doing your job for the team, and I think they really appreciate hard work, getting your foot in. And that's kind of just the basics of the game of any football team, any club, to kind of build your foundations on getting a foothold in games. So let's get back to that. Let's get do the basics right, work hard for the team, and the amount of quality that we've got should always come through towards the end of games. And it's all there for everyone to see. We just need to put it together and enlarge our parts of the game.
That's Martyn Waghorn. This is how the afternoon shapes up in League One. Bolton host Wigan in the lunchtime game. Bolton, one of 3 teams to have recorded 3 wins out of 3 so far. The others are Peterborough, who visit Northampton today, and Stevenage, who go to Reading. The 3 teams without a point so far are all away from home today as well. That's Leyton Orient, Cheltenham and Burton Albion. We'll keep you up to date with all the scores in Matchday Live from RamsTV, with you from 2:30 this afternoon, with Sean Barker back alongside, as always, for Derby County against Fleetwood Town. We'll see you then. Goodbye.